Doma Sports Talk Worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, when we're looking at sport all over the place, most of the time when we're talking about boxing, just like any other sports, it's pretty much fantasy matchups. We don't really know what's going to happen, especially going forward with this pandemic. We've probably not seen the worst of it. We're looking at how basketball's, going. They want to have this bubble coming soon in Florida. Looks like that might not be a good idea, and a lot of players are already saying something about it. We've heard Trevor Rizza, Barons, your boy Avery Bradley's not going to make it, and others. That's going to be a problem. Guys on the PGA Tour have gotten COVID-19 themselves, so there ain't going to be too much golfing popping off when that's happening. We saw what happened to the best tennis player in the whole world, Novak Djokovic. Novak Djokovic organized a tournament in Serbia and Croatia, trying to take care of his home country and stuff like that. And most of the players there, weren't practicing social distancing and things like that. Dimitrov and others, and a lot of contacted or contracted the virus. So they're out for a while, which means that things are going to be looking a little bit weird, right? It's going to be looking a little bit weird. So we can't really, we just all are speculating when we're talking about boxing matches and what's going to happen. It turns into fantasy matches. Those big matches that we really want to see. We're giving dates for them and things like that. Oh, Wilder versus Fury, the third fight, is going to happen in December. I'm not sure about that. Are you? You ain't going. You know what I mean? So we don't really know. But so since we're doing that, might as well keep talking about fantasy matches. So that brings me to the point. Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, heavyweight champion of the world. Baddest heavyweight we got out there since to beat Deontay Wilder. Can't nobody really argue with that, now can you? Right? Now Tyson Fury has come out and stated that listen, ain't nobody else beating Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder is the second best heavyweight. Ain't nobody else beating him. Deontay Wilder is still dangerous. Don't get it twisted because he lost to me. He says Deontay Wilder stops Anthony Joshua. He says Deontay Wilder stops your boy Dillian White. Right? And I agree with him. Anthony Joshua, because I think Anthony Joshua is chinny, and I think you think Anthony Joshua is chinny as well. And Dillian White has been hurt by a lot of fighters, the lesser fighters than Deontay Wilder, a lot. Dillian White has been hurt several times. He's been, Anthony Joshua, Joseph Parker, we had him hurt, a few others I can't even think about right now. Dillian White has been hurt on several occasions. He handles his business, but, if you've been hurt by other fighters, then we can assume that Deontay Wilder might hurt you. Why would we assume that? Because Deontay Wilder hurts everybody, including even Tyson Fury, by the way. The very best heavyweight in the world is way bigger than him. Him too. He was hurt. He was, matter of fact, out. In a lot of fights, that would have been called off the way he fell. Okay, so we're talking about Deontay Wilder being the next best heavyweight. Now, it does say one guy probably can give Deontay Wilder a little trouble, and you'd probably be surprised at this. I won't. You will. And that would be Alexander Usyk. Alexander Usyk is that cruiserweight coming up to the heavyweight. Didn't look so great against Witherspoon, so people are thinking that he's not all that. But like when I talk Alexander Usyk, for me, he's boxing royalty. You don't become undisputed at anything in boxing and not be extremely great. Extremely. You're automatically a Hall of Famer, in my opinion, if you become undisputed in boxing. Because they do everything in their power to make sure that you don't. The fans do, the promoters, everybody in boxing. People talking about boxing don't even want to talk about undisputed. Ever. Because they know that if they do, then people are going to start focusing in on, honing in on it, and they're going to start seeing all the shenanigans that are going on. So that's why we don't really talk about undisputed. This guy became undisputed in cruiserweight in a division where everybody was there, and he went to their backyard to beat every single person. He never fought at home. Incredible thing. So, and he's beaten bigger guys in other tournaments like Joe Joyce and stuff like that. So this guy is somebody who's highly skilled. And Tyson Fury's point is a highly skilled guy like that could possibly give Deontay Wilder some issues. I can't disagree with that. You know what I mean? So therefore, Tyson Fury is making a little sense here. He's making sense. But there's a few things that are uncomfortable that we're going to talk about, though. In boxing, just like in the world right now, villains are being rewarded. And I think it's about time to stop doing that. because it makes people, it just nurtures other people to think they have to be villains. And I mean real ones, not ones that are just acting. Like Tyson Fury, is being ignored. WBC keeps, giving him all these props and positive things they're saying about him, as if they're totally oblivious to the things that have happened in the Deontay Wilder fights, not the fight, but the fights, right? And his history of things that he's done. We can't act like this guy is totally clean and like he didn't do some things that are very, very skeptical and fishy in the Deontay Wilder fights, right? I think that they should be looking into it. And then we just found out about the guy he was dealing with, like some guy that has something to do with organized crime. And then we asked him, hey, well, what happened to Martin Carefoot? The guy who was talking about the wild boar. Well, if you have people in your team for the organized crime, they know how to shut up older people, right? They know how to shut them up. So there's too many things that are fishy with Tyson Fury. We know he had a rocky past, but hey, it's a boxer, man. It ain't, who cares if a boxer has a rocky past? If everything's not perfect. These guys are not perfect. They're fighters, for crying out loud. We lose our mind and go off on somebody. That we understand. But let's not herald them as something else. If we have a heavyweight championship fight against the very best heavyweights, and someone could have possibly cheated, and there's a lot of proof out there, then to ignore it totally, like you're oblivious to this news, it's just alarming. Now you would think, well, why y'all harping on that? Well, because these are the same people that would ignore that the president of the United States, most powerful man on the planet, right, is a damn criminal, open in front of your face, doing stuff that we didn't think we'd never see from a president, right in front of their faces, and all the senators let him do it, looking away. Now we got John Bolton out here with a book. You was national security advisor, and you're gonna write a book about what happened instead of testifying in front of Congress to make sure this guy's out of here. You supposed to be national security advisor. Our security's at risk, and there's some other thing that's more important than making sure that you do the right thing. It ain't just the money. There's something more important to all of these senators who didn't want to hear witnesses so you can get this dude out of office. You have a criminal in your office running your country. The people that like him, I think it's damn near impossible to still support President Trump and not be racist. Now, there's level to racist, but you have to be a little bit, because there would have been something now that would have irked you and made you extremely uncomfortable. And if it still hasn't been, then you have that in your loins. To the point to where the Constitution means nothing, the rule of law means nothing, right? Integrity means nothing, right? Cordiality, decorum means nothing, because something else is more important than all of that put together. And that is a strong emotion. And so when you have those kind of people that don't care about those things that are extremely important to the country and the world, then damn it, a boxing match, this dude beat up this brother who's a proud brother in Black History Month. Man, we rejoicing about that, and I don't give a damn what he did. You didn't see the baseball bat, did you? Then if you didn't see the baseball bat, and if we did see the baseball bat, we'd be happy. That is unfortunately what's going on. Because normally on a big fight like that, when somebody could have possibly cheated, there would at least, minimum, be an investigation. But we see him look away. I mean, I hate to mention this too because I like the guy, but Manny Pacquiao fighting Keith Thurman without a drug test. What the hell are we doing? And then when they talk about Manny Pacquiao beating Keith Thurman, they don't even mention that. Why? We have a fight in 2019. It's not Stone Age fights. It's recently fights where we care about doping. A fight, and he did not have to take a dope test in a fight recently. And he beats Keith Thurman, and we just are all good with that. Matter of fact, Keith Thurman doesn't even mention that. Right? That's what money does. Keith Thurman doesn't even mention that he didn't take a dope test. Think about that. So that's where we are. Right? So basically the villains are getting away with murder. Bottom line. Just villains all over the place. Sound like the last days to me. But anyway, back to the point. John to see when it's left field. Left field with that. Bottom line is Tyson Fury is still a good fighter, even though I think he cheated against Deontay Wilder and against Christian Hammer and in his training and was dope before and took coke and all of that. But I still think at 6'9", 270 pounds, Tyson Fury with this talent is a problem for anybody in any era, right? He doesn't have that much knockout power. That's why he doesn't beat a Lennox Lewis, or Vitaly Klitschko or something like that. But any of those 6'2", 6'3" guys, and you don't have that much punch power, he's going to give you issues, right? I don't say he's very better than all of them, but just because of the size alone, we keep talking about him like he's 6'2", 215 pounds, like a David Hay or something. No, this is the biggest guy out there, and he has skills. So he's awesome, and he's the #1 heavyweight right now, period, in most people's eyes, not mine, because if you would cheat, then not mine, and disqualify a little bit. But okay. He says, I'll beat the hell out of Deontay Wilder again, but Deontay Wilder stops Dillian White. Deontay Wilder stops Anthony Joshua, and he has problems with Alexander Usyk. What do you think about that? Doma Sports Talk, worldwide. And I'm up out of here. I'm blue. Peace.